Yeah, yeah. You know how I get when we talking about dollars and worrying about bitches. I need me a scholar. I'm pushing P, you can tell by the collar. If I'm a hitter, I'm hitting the bottom. These niggas know that they don't want a problem. Them niggas pussy, they sweeter than cobbler. A nigga a lick, he get hit with a chopper. I was at school, had a brick in the locker. You know how I get when I swear. Too much I observed. I had to learn to maneuver. I let the money seduce her. She get it top like a roofer. My bitch is running the loafers.
Hey,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, fucking sir. That's what I'm talking about. Motherfucker on point. I love when y'all be on point and we be at a, you feel me, get into it how we supposed to, man. So that's what I'm
that's
talking
right.
about, man.
Yeah,
How you doing, man? How you feeling out there, man?
good brother. It's morning time. Nearly 10 a.m. So get up nice and early. Had a bit of a workout before, and all prepped up, ready for this interview with you, Keys, brother. Looking forward to it, man.
That's what I'm talking about, man. So first, I want to thank you, though. You feel me, for giving me a little bit of your time. Then, like you just said, like in Australia, where you at right now, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. So it's like
Yeah,
it's 6:51 out here in Chicago, but it's
yeah.
10 o'clock in the morning for you. So that just goes to show, like, you real passionate about your career and what you're doing and stuff like that. So I definitely thank you for giving me a little bit of your time, man. So for with no further ado, man, we finna go and get to it, man. We finna start this thing off, man. So who
So
we have here on Fusion Radio Uncut for episode 13? We got my boy Benny Sinclair, man. So first off, how you doing, my brother? How you feeling?
yeah, I'm good, brother. Yeah, big shout out to you, Keith. Thanks for hooking this up today. Time zone aside, we got there, and yeah, it's just great to be here, man. It always spins me out being able, having the opportunity to chat with people on the other side of the world, and in the times we're living in, it's yeah, I appreciate that. It's good times, man. And yeah, blessings to you. So all is good.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I ain't gonna lie though. This gonna be a real interesting interview. Even though all of them be interesting, this gonna be really interesting for me because it's like I never talked to somebody on the other side of the world before. Like you all the way in
Yeah,
Australia type stuff. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So it's like that's really fascinating to me. So
yeah.
first, before we even get into that aspect, you know what I'm saying? I want to start off with just a little bit about like who you are as a person and like talk to me a little bit about like how did you end up getting on this path of making music?
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, so I grew up in Melbourne, Australia. My mother's side of the family migrated out from Germany, and my mum come out here when she was young. So kind of from an immigrant background. My father's side's Australian, with a little bit of black ancestry. It was a little bit unusual. There weren't too many black people around here in my grandmother's time, and so that kind of I had something in my heart and my soul, and most importantly, my DNA that was driving me towards hip hop. And I just wanted to represent a little bit from my perspective. And I thought, well, I was inspired by um, rappers getting up there and speaking their perspective and having the whole world tune into what they were saying. And I learned, a lot about how powerful words can be. So yeah, I started to, write some lyrics as a kid, and it was pretty hard out here in Australia. There weren't a lot of opportunities for rappers. It's still a little bit limited in that perspective compared to what it's like in the United States. But to cut a long story short, I eventually cut my first record and dropped it in about 2009 with a crew called Bouncer. And as you can probably tell, I'm in my home boxing gym at the moment. So I boxed and I bounced at clubs and stuff like that. And then I used to just bust out freestyles and muck around. And one of the other, mess about and stuff. And one of the other bouncers was dually passionate about hip hop. He's just like an Australian dude. And we started recording, and we cut our first record called Bouncer King Hits, and we were sort of rapping about our perspective working nightclubs and the nightlife here in Melbourne and some of our childhood um, antics that we got up to. And but ultimately we tried to bring a somewhat positive message about moving your life in a positive direction and overcoming adversity and stuff like that. But there was a little bit of humor, a little bit of comedy on that kind of album. And then in 2017, I went solo, and since then I've dropped four LPs. The last one that released not too long ago was through a record label based in the States, in California, called Round Two Music, and that, I guess, that kind of ties me into, kind of doing interviews in the States and doing a bit more stuff on radio. Specifically, our tie-in today with Fusion Radio and you and Brian Stinson originally, we run my third LP, Assumptions, on college radio, and it was getting some good traction in Chicago, on WIIT. So
Mm-hmm.
after that campaign ended, I reached out to see who the hosts were that were giving showing my album some love, and Brian fell into the circle, and then we did an interview. He would play my tracks frequently and all that sort of stuff, so we built a bit of a rapport there. Um, Currently, my record deal with Round Two Music ended last year, so I've just been collaborating with a Dutch label and their producer, who's based in Nigeria, Soundsion, and he sends me beats. I lay down my vocals, and yeah, and we go back and forth. So we've got a new project coming through with them. And my most recent, and in that time as well, through the connections in the States, I've been managed to collaborate with rappers from LA, such as Glasses Malone. In 2023, we dropped a track. Baldacci, Mexican American artist out there, and most recently this year, Little Easy E. So, firstborn son of
Mm-hmm.
uh, Godfather of gangster rap, Easy E. So yeah, so it was
Okay.
good to kind of be able to collaborate with those guys.
For sure, man. For sure, man. So for the people that's watching and stuff like that, like they might not get it or they might not understand, but bro, like the fact that you all the way in Australia and you still trying to make like hip hop music, because my next question was gonna be like, clearly hip hop music isn't as big out there like how it is in the United States. So like, what is that form of music that's big out there for you guys?
Well, I would say, look, hip hop's grown a lot. Hey, it's another tie into Chicago, and it's not. I'm not necessarily repping that specifically, but drill has blown up over here quite a bit the last 5 years, or 5, or even maybe 10 years. So there's some drill, Australian. Some of them are like, everyone. A lot of people in the hip hop game are kind of mixed ancestry, but there are guys that are just, like Anglo-Australian representing that as well. But yeah, there's some other crews like from Polynesian backgrounds and stuff like that blowing up in the drill scene. But hip hop's grown a lot. But it's just very nichey. Everyone's kind of doing a little bit different, and it's still probably not as mainstream as the rest of the world, I would say. So traditionally, Australian rock musicians got really big breaks in the 70s and 80s, like bands like AC/DC, In Excess, who are a bit more softer rock. But that AC/DC were probably my favorite rock group because they're from Melbourne as well, and yeah, but from there, to this day, there's a lot of other Aussie rock groups that are still blowing up. So I think traditionally it'd be rock, but as time progresses, we're starting to see a little bit more hip hop coming through, and but it's always like it's sort of like in Australia, it's per stage, it's like one hip hop crew will be getting all the publicity, and then the rest are just kind of fighting for it and trying to find their way and trying to get somewhere. So there's a couple of big names in that drill scene now that everyone knows, and the rest of us, everyone's just trying to, find their way and get as much heat on their stuff, on their music as possible, which is always a bit of a battle. Plus, it's a big country with a population of around 25 mil, so there's for such a big country, the population isn't that huge, I suppose. So yeah,
Hmm. That's really interesting. I ain't gonna lie to you.
yeah,
That's really interesting. Like when you really think about it. So, let me ask you this: have you ever been to the United States, or you never been over here?
yeah. So I've been to my first trip was in 2016 to California, and this is how I kind of got the record deal. I brushed briefly on my boxing. I was an amateur boxer, and then I became a coach. And then after I got the bug back, and I decided to turn pro. And I made some friends in the States, and I traveled out and did some training in a gym in Riverside, California. And now the owner of that gym, he wasn't present when I was training, but I saw in his gym he was also running hip hop shows in that Riverside area and around LA and stuff like that. And he had rappers like Kid Frost and Mellow Man Ace and those sort of guys. I'm like, wow, cool. This guy's into hip hop as well. So after I left and trained there, I started sending him some of my records. I think I was just posting the CDs to him because this was like 2016, 2017. CDs were still kind of the norm back then. It was kind of like being totally phased out now. And
Oh, for sure.
eventually he found a song that he liked and he contacted me and he said, "Hey, I've got some good news for you. We're sponsoring a radio station um, in in that district there in California, KCAA radio, and we're going to play your track." And then he played my song, a song that's about boxing. So that song obviously resonated with him, being involved in boxing and music. And Kid Frost reviewed it, gave it a nice review. And before I knew it, they called me up, said, "Hey man, we're really feeling your music out here. We want you to come over, and I want you to record some songs." So my next trip to actually, like, I had a holiday to Hawaii in between, and the first, I've seen a little bit of Vegas as well the first time I was there because we watched some boxing in Manny Pacquiao fight Jesse Vargas back in 2016. But so I've done, yeah, so Vegas, Cali, Hawaii, but then my next trip back to California in 2020 was to record music for Round Two Music, and I worked with their producers, DJ Bobby B, who's the DJ for Sugar Free, and he's on a couple of my tracks for Round Two, and another producer by the name of Jay Stank, who's no longer with us. He passed away shortly after we recorded. He had a bit of a tragedy in the studio. He had some heart problems and passed away sadly. So rest in peace, Jay. But we managed to restore and salvage his work, and we eventually put that record together called The Best and released it in 2023. But I came back and I finished the album working with some of my one of my original producers who I worked on that Bouncer project with, and and we eventually got it out, and so the last time I was in the States was 2020 recording for Round Two. I was there for like 2 weeks it was like a work trip more or less, just in the hotel, going back, recording the song, coming back to the hotel, and then come back to Australia. COVID hit, so it was a bit hard communication, and
Man,
our state here had some really harsh lockdowns. You couldn't even leave the country for like a year or two. My visa lapsed. I had to reapply for my visa. So now I've got my visa. Now I can travel to the States again whenever on a B1, like a business visa and all that stuff. And I guess I'm just looking for opportunities, man. Like just dropped this latest record with Little Easy E. I'm sort of, I'd like to keep pushing. I'm open to doing features, stuff like that. And like I said, in the background, I'm going to continue to collaborate with this Dutch label I've been working with, but I'm not signed exclusively to anyone at the moment, so I'm free to kind of move around and kind of take control of put my career into my own hands, I suppose. So
for sure, man. And that's what I'm
yeah,
talking about. So I know the people that's watching us on live and stuff like that, and the people that's gonna probably watch this afterwards on the
yeah.
replay and stuff like that. I know they thirsty to hear some music. I know they like, man, when we gonna get a chance to check bro out and see how he coming? You know what I'm saying? So you send me two
So
songs. So the first
yeah,
song you sent me is one that we already been talking about, which is which is One Drop featuring Lil Easy E. You know what I'm saying? And then the other song is
yeah.
called Run. So which one you want to play on Fusion Radio Uncut first?
We'll go with One Drop Sittings. We gave that a bit of an intro already, and yeah, that's
Okay,
that's where it's
so
at, I think.
before we get into One Drop, you feel me? Just give me a small little, like, just tell me just a little bit about like how did this record actually come together? Because you have somebody on this record, which is the son of a famous artist from Los Angeles. You get what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
with you being from Australia, it's kind of crazy, like
yeah,
however you came up with that type of feature. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah.
just tell us a little bit about like what you end up actually doing to actually get that feature. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think being signed to Round Two Music helped because people were taking me a little bit more seriously, and that's how like because of Bobby B being tied to Sugar Free, you know, and it's like then Glasses Malone and Sugar Free bring out a record together called Kanye Shouldn't Have Married That Bitch. Remember back and then straight after that, sort of Glasses fell into the kind of circle through Instagram and stuff, and yeah, reached out about doing a collab together, and we got that song. So you know, that's kind of, you know, you're kind of working towards, you know, working with more American artists. And then we got Baldacci, you know, similar kind of circumstances. He dropped that track Mango with Yellow Wolf around about the same time we released our track called Iron Mike. But leading up to Little Easy E specifically, I'll show you quickly. I've written a book called Games in the Fight, and it's on Amazon. It's about my boxing journey and hip hop journey in my life growing up in Australia. And it was inspired by doing interviews like this with Americans and answering so many questions about what it was like growing up here. And I thought, yeah, I'm just gonna lay it all down and put it in a book form. So I sent one of those books to Little Easy E. Just after we connected a little bit, I thought, and I sent one to Glasses Malone, and you know, and then when he come out to Australia and performed last year, he gave me some free tickets to his show, so we rocked up, and then we connected that way. And then before I knew it, we were talking about doing a track together. And but we didn't record here. He already flew back to Compton, and then you know, he sent the files across. I laid down my verses here, and then we dropped the record on, I think it was February 7th. So yeah, and then we did some video scenes and stuff as well. So we got a video for that. Yeah, a lot of communication on Instagram, a lot of communication on WhatsApp. You know, more WhatsApp and Instagram. You know, sending files across, sending ideas across, and yeah, and that's the world we're living in today, brother. You know, it's like
That's
oh,
how
and the
you do.
producer is from Nigeria as well. So you know, there's that worldwide connection. We're getting the beats from Nigeria, and you know, files getting sent back from Compton, working here from Melbourne, dropping the record to the world. You know, so yeah, it's amazing, really.
That's how you do that though. That's what make
Yeah.
music so great though, cause it's
Mhm.
like it's no blueprint to making music, and it's like you can
Yeah.
connect with anybody out here in this world to make good music. So I definitely understand that, man. So we finna go ahead and get into it, man. So what we finna listen to
Yep.
right now, we finna listen to that Benny Sinclair One Drop featuring Lil Easy E, man. So y'all let me know if y'all rocking with this, man, in the chat. Drop some fire emojis or something, man. Let me know if y'all rocking with my boy. Here we go.
Sure.
All the way to Australia
Oh my
with
God.
this Little Easy, this motherfucker. My homeboy Betty. We gonna keep it gangster for that, man. We gonna go back to that old school style, man. You know what I'm saying? Old school, please God, brother. The world is mine. Yeah. One drop, don't stop, cause it cash is here. Gotta count in the dots, you know what I mean. One stop, don't drop, cause it cash is king. Gotta keep that money, by any means. One drop, don't stop, cause it cash is king. Gotta count in the dots, you know what I mean. One stop, don't drop, cause it cash is king. Gotta keep that money, by any means. One stop, never drop, I hit a fool or two. Niggas keep it clear, I'm a first here to break it through. West side vibe when I sign riding in the coupe. OG by my side on the grind, say my shit's cool. Money on my mind, that's my life, what the else I do? Beamer on flat tires on drive because they know we good. Little Easy E on the track, let's go hit the booth. Ride left, use a two-country truth. I rely on my back with plenty to lose. Never easy as it seems, gotta push through. The wrong one to be where you have no clue. Compton, California, you know how to get me. Stay sharp, can't slip, gotta concentrate. Keep away from the falls, we never compensate. On me, I ain't got the time for 'em. The first chance you get to hear, that's your first one. One drop, don't stop, cause the cash is king. Gotta count them dollars, you know what I mean. One stop, don't drop, cause the cash is king. Gotta keep that money, by any means. One drop, don't stop, cause the cash is king. Gotta count them dollars, you know what I mean. One stop, don't drop, cause the cash is king. Gotta keep that money, by any means. One drop,
Yeah.
say fuck we gonna get it to. Live it in my vision, DNA, see I'm a quitting too. The policy, I be fighting when I'm rapping too. Beat the cotton, put the 44 king, easy too. When I'm on my hustle, I some slick mag, greasy food. Flavor in your ear like a spear with attitude. Captain playing the world is yours, now I'll get my two. If you will, got me down, free mental gratitude. No time for me, I'm too smooth. Nothing to prove, made moves, I didn't pay dues. Been here, been there, almost everywhere. Familiar faces, most of all I seem to stop and stare. Son of a legend, firstborn, you know how it gets. Hubs in his finest, I gotta represent. Give and go on the road, you know I keep it ruthless. Holding down for my pops and be what the truth. One drop, don't stop, cause the cash is king. Gotta count them dollars, you know what I mean. One stop, don't drop, cause the cash is king. Gotta keep that money, one drop, don't stop, cause the cash is king. Gotta count them dollars, you know what I mean. One stop, don't drop, cause the cash is king. Gotta keep that money, everybody in it. One drop, don't stop, cause the cash is king. Gotta count them dollars, you know what I mean. One stop, don't drop, cause the cash is king. Gotta keep that money, everybody in it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was hard. That was hard. I'm rocking with that. I'm rocking with that, man. So talk to me a little bit about like this flow, man. So just talk to me about like how did you eventually come up with your flow and stuff like that? Because me being an artist myself, I understand that everybody's flow is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, some people sound like other people and stuff like that, but you don't really sound like nobody else. So like, how did you necessarily come up with that flow, my boy?
Yeah, I mean that's just me being me, pouring my own life experiences, and just like, I'm born. I'm a bit older. I'm born in '79, so I've seen the progression of hip hop from, all that era. So it's just like, yeah, my ears, my brain, my DNA's absorbed a lot of different hip hop, and I've just tried to be myself from day one. I just didn't really want to sound like anyone else because, I mean, you could probably, you know there's some inspirations in there, for sure. But yeah, it's just me being me. It's just the rhythm. It's the rhythm that I hear. It's the melodies that I hear on the beat. It's to me it's like a fingerprint. I'd rather sound myself than sell out to sell records, I guess. But we all want to sell records. Don't get me wrong, but I'd rather be me. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, man. For sure. For sure. So with me knowing the time difference and understanding that like you got a lot going on and stuff like that, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into. I got some more questions to ask you, but I'm gonna go ahead and
Yep.
play your second song just because we kind of like pressed on time a little bit. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your
Sure.
second song is called "Run." You get what I'm saying? So
Yep.
I'm finna go ahead and play that joint. So you feel me? We could be on time and stuff like that. So we finna go ahead and
Yep.
rock out to this joint, and then I'm gonna
Yep.
ask you a few more questions, and then I'm gonna go ahead and let you get up out of here, my boy.
Yeah, sounds good, brother. Dope.
Hey, remember me? Any Bronco for the Bronx? Try to hide, I'm running when I'm tired. Think I'm gonna shoot you, I'm the key to shoot my pride. Coalition, intuition, advance, when I strive. More money, more problems, gotta face the evil eye. Hard enough, easy rider, life be rough on the grind. I can focus in the fear, I can people on my mind. Man, I cut it through my mind, once you duck, then I'm fine. You're a king in the waiting for Kentucky Fried Wings. tongue fly, WDFY. Y'all know I think my truth, I'm a hungry single eye. See me face dead, so I'm fleet blow fly. Moving on from the streets, time to think and recognize. Off down, got me weak, coming back through your eyes. Driving on black, dropping in through the wide. Slow down, run away, you just a parasite. Grab a down, shake it down, take it down, off the fly. Let you lose your breath, now you need protection. Tell it to you straight, bro, you need direction. I'm not your fan, got no affection. Scared little man, act adolescent. Ooh, time to stand up, cause the mind's a weapon. Fake your fears, forget the stepping. Catch your problem, you'll get the lesson. Messing with your life, man, disrespecting it. I owe you, be way connected. You're a holding grudge against yours. I said you get a kill, so you're in the ocean. Looking like Fredo, being devotion. Ain't the style, yeah, face down floating. Trying to catch a wave to get emotion. When I'm paid in full, then fool, we coach your mind, that's the plan. Don't stand the joke. Run, run, run when you're high, running when you're slow, don't ever run away, those problems will go. Run to the high, running when you're low, hey, oh, hey, oh, no, run no more. Run when you're high, running when you're slow, don't ever run away, those problems will go. Run to the high, running when you're low, hey, oh, hey, oh, no, run no
So what was that?
More.
That's that run by my boy Benny Sinclair. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about, man. So we got my boy all the way in Australia. My boy do a lot of things. Even though he an artist, he put them things on you. Put them things on you. You know what I'm saying? He still be doing this one too. So you know what I'm saying? He got to get up out of here, but it's cool though. We gonna try to see if we can do another interview or something, or you feel me, get a chance to chop it up again, because I really didn't get a chance to even get really in depth with you the way I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? But you
Yeah.
definitely came with some good music though. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely respect that, and I like the fact that you came with some good music. You feel me? Give me a chance to see how y'all coming in. What's the vibe out there in Australia? You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't been nowhere near Australia, so I wouldn't be able to tell you nothing about y'all way of life or nothing like that. But
Yeah.
before you get up out of here, though, before you get up out of here, I ask all my guests this at the end of every show. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm kind of like, I'm really interested to hear what you're gonna say though, because you come from a whole nother walk of life. So I want to see like if y'all thought process is a little different than how we think over here in the United States and stuff like that. So one thing I
Yeah.
always ask my guests, like when I say a piece of advice, you can either give me a piece of advice that you feel like the people should know in life in general, or you can give me a piece of advice that you feel like somebody in the music world should know, because you said you've been doing music for a long time, so I know it's all type of gems and all type of, you feel me, information you could probably give to somebody. So you can either give me a personal piece of advice, or you could give me a musical piece of advice, or you could give me two. You know what I'm saying? But it's up to you, however you want to do.
Yeah, I just think, like the music industry itself can be like, at times, like you're walking through landmines, just like trample the snakes, and just stay positive and just do just focus on what you do, because it's art at the end of the day. If someone gets behind you and invests, it's a blessing. Always appreciate the people that show support and try to give that a little bit back as well. And it's just about, ultimately it's about respect. You don't want to, if you want to it's a give and take relationship, you know what I mean? But ultimately, don't lose yourself. Always be you, and you know, and if you're meant to get your break, you're going to get your break. It's going to happen. God always has a plan, and you know, keep the faith up, stay strong, do you at all times. You know, I think
That's what I'm talking about, man. So, like I said, I definitely appreciate you giving me 30 minutes of your time, man. Especially when over here, where I'm at in Chicago, in the United States, it's 7:20, and where you at, it's like what, like 10:30 at this point?
10:20 a.m. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
10:20 a.m. You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
So it's too like it's totally different. You get what I'm saying? So I definitely appreciate you for reaching out. I'm definitely glad
yeah,
I got a chance to sit down with you and have this interview and stuff like that. And I definitely appreciate you for continuing to support Fusion Radio and stuff like that, because
yeah, yeah,
I
man.
like when you sat down and you reached out to me, bro, I thought about, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Like, this nigga
Yeah,
Brian was able to reach all the way out here in
yeah,
Australia.
man.
That's on the other
Yeah,
side of the world type shit. So I'm like, that just speaks volume for
yeah,
what we doing here at Fusion, the support we trying to give to y'all, different artists and stuff like that. So I
yeah.
definitely appreciate you, my boy. You be safe out
100.
there in Australia. Continue to do your thing. Continue to push your message, and just be blessed, man. I hope you have a good day and enjoy the rest of your day, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you get up out of here, man. So you can go ahead, you feel me,
Yeah, man.
do your 1 2, man. That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about, man.
brother.
So just be safe, man.
Thank
I'm gonna
you.
be in touch, man.
Appreciate it, man.
You too.
Peace. Thanks, brother.
Love.
Speak soon.